Welcome everyone to the third episode of the JJBA Book Club. We have read George Joestar Chapter 3 this week, and guys, this was quite the chapter.
It really was.
I think this was my most favorite one yet.
Yeah,
agree.
it's my probably
Yeah.
favorite chapter and most enjoyable one to read, in my opinion. So
Yeah.
far.
Every chapter is quite the chapter, Sean.
Yeah.
That is true.
So far, it has been.
But this
Everyone,
one is good.
every chapter's pretty bizarre.
Haha.
Oh,
Sorry, I was too busy laughing to laugh at your joke.
Nice. But this chapter, I mean, it had classic George, but he some character development for him. He wasn't a total coward this time. And it got we learned a little bit more about some magic powers. So, do we have any initial thoughts we want to cover? Or should we dive into the summary?
Summarize.
Summary.
Summary
Yeah.
will go a lot.
Yeah.
Okay. George starts the chapter by telling the audience he's a sci-fi nerd now. Now that he's interested in science, he decides to ask Penelope de la Rosa, the girl that helped Suku and George catch Javier Cortez, to tutor him. Penelope obviously refuses, stating that George reminds her of the murderous clown, which she has a pathological fear of. George leaves and is then surprised at his house by Penelope in the dead of night. Penelope explains that a locked room formed at her house and a clown hung a doll with string there. Suddenly, a locked room occurs at George's house as well. George then realizes that Penelope has developed the ability to create locked rooms, an ability he later dubs a wound, due to it stemming from trauma. So do we want to discuss that little chunk there? Because that was a lot.
Yes.
That was
Yeah,
so
okay.
crazy.
So I
Yeah.
really like the idea of this. Can we call it a stand? Because I feel
It
like
is
it's
not a
stand.
I feel like it's
It's
not.
It is not a stand. Wounds are different
Wow.
than stands.
Well, other
Okay, well.
people could see it, which was why I was like, I didn't think it was a stand, because
Mhm.
I mean, there's
Oh, yeah,
there's
that's true.
bound stands where you could put like Yukiko's hair and like Seko's little suit. So
yeah.
Mhm.
So
But I like
to
Antonio
think
don't know,
Torres
it's so
is
weird.
also
Seko
a
naked.
quote-unquote wound user, but
so maybe it's wound because it was like emotional rather than you were just
Because
like
it
born with
stems
it.
from trauma, yeah.
Trauma.
Yeah, and it's not
And,
motherly trauma as I thought. It's
Mm.
trauma.
Penelope's parents are divorced, so maybe that's part
Yeah, I was
of the
gonna
trauma.
say.
That could have been like a
Maybe it is
trigger or something.
Motherly
Plus, like
I think
we
that it
also
had more
see in
to
the
do with her
chapter, like
boyfriend.
her boyfriend. I was gonna say her boyfriend too. Like you see her
Yeah.
getting like.
I
really
think
mad.
So,
Me thinks that the reason she's able to create those locked rooms by like locking all the doors when she's scared is maybe something was happening because her boyfriend was very abusive, so maybe it stemmed from that. Me
Right.
thinks.
I really like sort of how in depth it goes with the she doesn't know that she's doing it. It's she created this clown to do it for her so that she wouldn't have to take the blame for it. I think that that's really cool as a concept.
yeah,
So,
supernatural ability that you don't even acknowledge that you have.
because you're so adamant that it's not you. It couldn't possibly be you. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like that's so like honestly horrific because like imagine if that were you. You know what I mean? Like you're just like out here murdering people, but you don't even know it because you're in your head. You're like, there's no way I could murder someone.
Which
You
does
know what
raise
I mean?
the question, did Javier Cortez know that he was getting people to kill other people?
Mm-hmm.
Because, like,
Mhm.
was that
So-
just his wound acting on its own? Or was he, like,
Yeah.
deliberately being like, go murder people?
Yeah.
I was gonna say, does that make it? Would that make Javier a wound user? I don't remember it
He is a
being
wound
explicitly
user.
stated.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, so...
No, he just used the ability to get away from his mom, but I don't think he really meant to go kill people using it.
Right.
Same way with her, she was just like trying to create these like rooms that locked. I don't think she tried to really kill anybody. So that's
How old is Penelope? Is she the same age as them,
She
or
is the
is
same
she a little
age,
older?
yeah.
And how old is George now?
At this time,
He's
I think he's
15.
12.
It says-
Oh, he's
yeah,
15, yeah.
he's
Yeah, it
15.
says, like, 4
I
years.
was gonna
Okay.
say 12.
I was like,
Yeah,
I was like, he
I
was-
forgot.
No way.
Yeah, I forgot that we.
It's like time skip.
Yeah, like at the end of chapter 1, we time skipped.
yeah. George is still okay. So earlier, somebody mentioned that he's like not so much of a coward anymore, but I think that he still is. I mean, he's definitely gotten better about it, but like he's kind of a little piss baby still. Just like
I
a
mean,
little
like,
He was a
bit.
hero in this chapter, but he was a little piss baby about
Yeah.
it the
like
whole
he's a little
time.
bit more like quick thinking. Like who would think to
Yeah.
run into
A
like
bit
the
more
room?
mature, yeah.
Carving murder on your
Oh.
body.
I didn't
Hello?
We're getting
understand
ahead
that
of
part.
ourselves. All right, let's
keep
Okay,
going,
let's
keep going.
backtrack.
I did think it was kind of interesting though how I remember he said like from solving his cases with what's his name again? Sukumajuku. Like he was like, "Oh, I've learned like to never believe in like paranormal activity or ghosts or anything." And this whole chapter he was dealing with that.
Yeah.
I was like, "Did you not just say that you didn't believe in that kind of
Yeah,
stuff?"
and he also did just solve a case where the guy was going into people's dreams. So like,
Yeah.
how are you gonna say that?
Like this isn't paranormal in the
It's like,
slightest. It's like
what?
All right, so Penelope comes to live with the Joestars, and Penelope starts being able to reign in her power over the course of 6 months. That is, until her shitty ex-boyfriend shows up talking about a dude with wings. Penelope almost kills her ex with a locked room, but George grows a pair and saves him.
a
So,
girl boss moment. He ruined it.
That was like a skeleton of the shit that happened in in the events that you just described. Because
Yeah.
what you left out was that Penelope, because there was no room to lock him in, made a room out of grass and
Girl
dirt.
boss.
And then
She is a girl boss.
in order to save this dude, George had to like freaking claw his way in there, and the clown tried to hang him instead.
He wrote.
And then
He got snatched up. Like the thing came
homie,
down and was like
yeah, as soon as he
Yeah,
entered the
homie.
room, a noose of grass wrapped around his neck and strung him up. And he said that it was so strong that he almost blacked out from it. And I'm like, damn.
yeah, it's like he's like it cut
Yeah.
through his skin.
Well,
You know,
he
grass.
threw up and he started choking on his throw up then.
Yeah.
And he was
There's
like,
a lot going on. And
Homie.
Penelope's
Oh, no.
outside like, get like, oh my god, what's going on?
In a last
But the
ditch
boyfriend deserved
attempt.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna say kind like when Penelope went to go meet with her ex-boyfriend and like he was talking to her about this like creature with wings, like why would you tell her that she's your ex?
Yeah,
She,
and then
she
not to
clearly didn't want to
mention
hear it. She was like, stop.
The
and,
other
like,
girl.
she got
and then he was like, "Oh
nosebleed
yeah, I
because
was
of
in
it.
bed with the other girl. I don't love her as much as I love you, but
Yeah.
I was sleeping with this other chick." Like she had
Even
she was
George-
like, "Stop!" Like she was literally
Mhm.
screaming at him to stop, and he wouldn't.
Even George was like, that's one thing you should never tell a woman. Like I
Yeah,
remember
George
George
is
saying
a
like,
Especially
dumbass.
like
I was like, "Not
Well,
George
yeah.
going to save him."
yeah.
And then
Well, it was
just
more
like
about.
he's like on the spot, he's like, oh man, yeah, I'll just carve the word murder into my body so the police know that it wasn't just a suicide. Like, huh?
Yeah, that
Weird
was such
because
a
it was
long shot
just-
plan.
I know.
Yeah, and like as soon as like the clown saw the word murder, then everything just stopped, and I'm like, okay.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and
because
then,
it breaks the concept of a locked room because he's able to prove that it was murder.
That makes
Huh.
sense. So I was like,
But-
okay.
now he just has the word murder carved into
Oh
his
yeah,
stomach
that's
forever.
a good point. Yeah, it's scarred, so now he permanently has the word murder there.
Well, then I guess
well, it's
he
not even
can't get
completely
back to the locked room
finished.
now.
It's like
Because-
murder.
That
Yeah,
was
it was
that
like-
was
it
a
was
baby
like
stand
R.
moment. You know, baby stands.
Baby
Cartoon
stand moments.
But that had me thinking, like, okay, if the thing saw the word like murder, if it's on him now, he won't get trapped in another locked room because it's always gonna say murder. So
Oh yeah, but they'll be able to tell how old the wound is, though.
I guess now he has just to trace over it every single time. I don't know.
But I think it is an important thing to note for George as a character is that he didn't go to stop her girl boss moment of saving the ex's life. He wanted to stop Penelope from becoming a killer.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, let her be a girl boss killer.
Like, it would have been, good for her, but also George is like, oh, I don't want my friend to be a murderer because he has things going on.
For him, when Lisa came up in the
The
you know,
jealousy moment.
Yeah, the room. He was like, Lisa,
Yeah,
shut
let's
up. I was
get
like,
into that.
She was like, "Don't call me Lisa, Lisa."
my name is
Yeah.
Elizabeth. I was like, oh. And
But
George
then
was
they're
like,
fighting.
oh, yeah, let's get
While
to it.
recovering in the hospital, Lisa reappears, and she gets mad at Penelope for already having more chemistry with George.
Not George. Oh, wait, I wanted to backtrack. So with Penelope, how she was able to make the dolls out of her clothing. I found it funny when George was like, yeah, her clothes are kind of disappearing. I be looking. I try not to show it off, but then Penelope was like, every time this happens, you look dead at me and you smirk. And I thought that was just kind of funny.
George was horny in this.
George was like,
And he was horny in the first chapter, too.
He's growing up.
he's going through puberty.
He's
Our
what?
little
was like,
George is growing up before our very eyes.
Bed sheet, and I was like, and he's like, all she would wear was just a dress and a little something something underneath. Couldn't help myself. I was like, George, oh my
You
goodness,
naughty dog.
naughty boy.
When Lisa and fucking Penelope were in the hospital together, I'm like, guys, you gotta be girl bosses together. What is
Like
this?
this in front of your male wife. What's going on?
I ship Penelope and Lisa.
Mhm.
Girl boss
Girl
duo.
boss moment. Girl boss, ex girl boss.
Well,
Yeah.
enemies to lovers.
You can't tell me that
Yes.
Lisa isn't a little bit like,
Imagine fighting over George fucking Joestar. Imagine.
Couldn't be.
Two girl bosses fighting over possibly the world's most cowardly man. Hello?
Like you're fighting
This really
over
has,
the
like-
most forgotten Joestar.
Yeah.
Has like bisexual wife energy George Joestar has.
if Penelope, or no, if Lisa walked up to me and was like, I'd be like, oh, hey, queen.
Hey, queen.
If Lisa was like, shut up, I'd be like, huh? You told me to get on my knees and open up my mouth? Okay. Yeah, got you. Lisa's so fine.
Oh, damn, this
Yep.
episode's getting X-rated. Damn.
Oh,
We're gonna get
That-
demonetized.
it's a lot of censoring. But yeah, and then how George was like, yeah, there was so much tension that like he felt like Penelope was about to make like another locked room. I was like, ooh. Yeesh.
Damn.
Yeah.
But when they got back to the house,
Oh, yeah. let's
And-
get into that.
Part 1
Yeah.
recap.
that
When I saw
Sean.
Dio's name, I was like,
Oh yeah.
Brando, I was like, oh, whoa.
Let's
getting
talk
real.
about what Lisa told George about the
Yeah.
winged man.
Lisa has Arena tell George the truth about his father and Dio, and Arena reveals that she saved the head of Jonathan Joestar.
yeah, I read that. And I
Girl.
was like, what?
They left that out of part
Trophy
1.
husband.
They left that out of part 1 and 2.
Trophy husband. She was like, I'm taking him with me.
Yeah, but also she was there to investigate the like winged man, like in the town, and like
Mhm.
she's telling everyone to get back in their homes again.
Is the winged
Um,
man Cars?
Novel
I,
Cars?
Spoiler.
he's,
Could be.
I know.
I mean, he was
able to
I was
change
like, I know
and
there's
to a
a novel
squirrel,
Cars. So.
Yeah.
Like,
I mean, and then you think about it. Like,
But then
all that there
again,
was left of Jonathan's body was his head, so why not?
But then again, I was thinking, like, why would, if it was Cars or novel Cars, why would he come for these people in this small town?
Mm-hmm.
Like,
I
like-
will tell you, it is not Cars.
Oh, Palmon users.
What?
It is not Cars. The winged
Oh.
man
It's
is
not Cars? Then who else in JoJo is flying? Miki Taka?
Someone we've
Like
met?
a new character. It's
Is it a new character, Sean?
Yeah, is it a new
It
character?
may or may not be a new character.
Are they canon to the JoJo universe, or are they like a new person?
Stop asking for spoilers. I wanna
Yeah,
be
this is
surprised.
too spoilery.
Oh, best. I know what that was. Hate it here.
Girl boss.
Love it here, but I hate it here. This
Yeah.
isn't a girl boss moment.
This is a girl employee moment.
This is a female janitor moment.
No. Oh, female janitors can be
Yeah,
girl
what if
bosses.
a janitor? Yeah, exactly. What if they have a janitorial business?
Mm-hmm. CEO of the janitorial business.
Yeah.
Girl boss. Kira. Anyway.
If y'all want to be janitors, go ahead.
I never said I wanted to be one. I just said that you can be a janitor and also a girl boss.
Okay, sure.
Anyways.
Can we talk
So,
about
Irina-
George Joestar, like, not wanting to know
No.
the history of... Okay, let's not talk about that. That's it.
No, what?
Can we talk about how George Joestar is such a small coward that when his mom's like, alright, it's time to tell you the truth about your family history and everything, he's like, I didn't really want to hear it.
Yeah. Oh my god. I was like,
but he was like frozen with fear or something.
Per usual, nothing new.
Yeah.
Like somebody thaw him out. Goodness gracious.
Yeah, it was like borderline an out of character moment that he saved, like, risked his life in this chapter.
Yeah.
I was like, our George Joestar? We're talking about the same guy? You sure you didn't mean the last chapter's George Joestar?
We literally got like, yeah, I was like, this is like last chapter George Joestar type beat. Like this new one literally got dog poo poo shoved up his nose for his intro. Now he's digging through like mud and grass trying to save someone from like getting murdered. It's like
I think the funniest part of this chapter was when George Joestar was like describing like when him and Suso Mojuku would walk into murder scenes and they would like he was like usually Suso Mojuku would just chase them around and I'd like stand in the corner and scream and I'm like
yeah.
I was like
yeah.
I was like, me too, George, me too.
Yeah, fine. Doing audio background. Just I'm ready for the next chapter because this is getting very interesting.
This is getting interesting.
I feel like the next chapter is we're gonna go back to the other like universe type thing.
Yeah.
The George Joestar.
Like wait, and it all was like on Morio anyway. So excited to see that.
Yeah, so what do you guys think is gonna happen in Morio?
Well, he's gonna go
I hope
meet
we
up
get
with
to see
Yoshikage Kira.
Yoshikage Kira.
Kira's making an appearance, and I ain't talking about myself. But
I hope he's hot.
Nothing beyond that. We just think Kira's gonna show up.
I feel like some weird shit, like the stuff that happened in this chapter, is gonna happen, like in the other place too. Like maybe like a weird event, like kind of like this one. Like maybe we'll see another
weird
like
event is
user.
gonna happen in JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, Mia.
A bizarre
Crazy.
event?
Unfathomable.
I think Bizarre's gonna happen on the adventure to one of the JoJos.
Sean, I love you, but I physically can't predict chapters, especially like not in George Joestar. There's no way I have any idea what's coming next. I can infer that there's gonna be Kira based on how the last chapter.
Let me ask you this then. Okay, so we know next chapter is going to take place in Morio. What returning characters do you think we're going to see?
Josuke.
Tonio.
Oh, Tonio too sorry. Please, Tonio. I'm such a Tonio stan. Please, I want to see my boy so bad. Even if he makes like a little background appearance, they go to Tonio to like get like lunch or something. We need to see Tonio.
If Rohan shows up, I am going to insult him.
I'm closing the chapter.
I do want to see Rohan.
I'm really hoping, I don't know if this is going to be a thing, but I'm really hoping, since it's Morio, we get to see some, like, JoJolian characters, too.
Ooh!
I feel like that'd be interesting, because, you know, like, Part 8 is also Morio. So, it would be nice to see some Part 8 characters there, too. Or, maybe in this Morio, it's, like, a fusion of, like all those like, both Morio characters, I don't know.
Well, this was written in 2011.
Oh, okay. So JoJolion.
So we get like a graphic.
Okay, so it was like the first chapters of JoJolion. Okay, as long as Joshu's not there, I'm good.
Yeah, he can eat a bag of dicks.
I would love to see Okuyasu.
Me too.
I would love to see Rohan. I hate to say it. I would love to see Rohan.
I feel like Rohan.
I hate Rohan,
He's a powerful stand user.
I have a love-hate really. I feel like Rohan has to be in there just because of like his stand Heaven's Door. I feel like I don't know.
That's what I'm thinking. Like his stand is powerful.
It is like the perfect detective stand. Just being
like
it's
you're gonna get caught in 4K on paper.
He's the perfect detective stand, and you think he would have used it better in part 4, but that's a different conversation.
Like, I mean, he
could go
kind
on
of did,
about that,
but
we're not
he
gonna
got
go
blown
there.
up in the middle.
Oh, do you guys think that this is going to be our introduction to stands? Because, you know, more characters have stands.
And then like the stand arrows and all that.
Mm-hmm.
What if our George gets shot by Keicho?
Whoa,
That'd be cool.
You think George is gonna develop a stand?
I mean, it'd be pretty bizarre if he did.
I can't say.
Honestly, I don't think he would. But then again, it's not canon. But if it was kind of gonna be canon, I don't think he would get a stand only because Joseph
this isn't even close to canon. There's nothing.
So maybe he does.
Yeah.
He does get a stand.
Jonathan,
if he does get a stand.
Jonathan and Joseph both have stands. So it'd be weird if George didn't have a stand. Then
Jonathan?
again, also
Joseph does have a stand.
Yeah, he did later on, but later on when Dio is awakened, but like in like the first half, like part 2, he didn't have a stand.
Joseph? Are we talking about Joseph?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, he didn't at first.
But this is 2011, so part 4 Joseph.
Yeah. So
okay.
Yeah, but what is Dio's existence in alternate reality? George.
I don't know.
So
I have no idea. I don't know, bestie. This is weird.
I'm just throwing out bizarre imagines, you know.
I'm just saying that the Joestar family, all of the like JoJos have had stands, other than maybe like the
George gets stuck
Joestar. So everyone has had one so far, aside from the OG George that we know of. But that's because Dio wasn't a thing back then.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll see.
Now, what do you think of the odds, George? If you think he might develop a stand, what about him developing a wound?
Oh,
he is so privileged.
Like
he is.
Like he hasn't really like gone through anything. Like, oh, he got bullied, but
he did carve the word murder into his stomach.
Yeah, and did he seem all that phased about it?
He just learned about his like father's backstory, whatever what happened. So maybe that inflicts something.
It didn't really seem like he was having a very trauma-inducing reaction to it, though. He's just kind of like, "Damn, that's whack."
That's for such a coward. He has such small reactions to the insane shit that happens.
No, then I'm wondering where did Erina put the head at?
Yeah,
because there's just like a head in the house.
Find that out.
Like, did she do a Walt Disney kind of thing and like put it in a freezer downstairs?
We'll find that out.
It's like in a box labeled Jonathan.
Also, I kind of feel like wounds would be like equivalent to Hamon or like spin, maybe.
I don't know.
I feel like it's a bit more than that, though. I feel like it's a bit more than that. Like,
I feel like it's a bit more stand adjacent than Hamon spin adjacent. It is definitely interesting though. So yeah, I like that chapter.
It's cool. Any closing thoughts, anyone, on the chapter? Or I think we're.
I mean, I don't feel like anything, like it's very interesting, but like I still don't think it compares like to amounts of like everything that chapter 1 had. Like it was just like nonstop, just back to back to back. They just threw it at your face. But this one was really interesting. I liked how like they Penelope making the closed room out of whatever was available around.
Honestly,
so like
I
imagine
love Penelope. I wish she was in like other I wish someone like did her like put her in other stuff because like I thought Penelope
because like imagine that ability in like a more urban area with like cement. Like he wasn't gonna get into that room if it was just like cement.
Like fan art of Penelope. I want to know what she looks like.
The artist, the book has a whole bunch, like hundreds of illustrations, like on the, but a whole bunch of them are like only on the artist's website. So Penelope does have a picture. So if you want to look it up, you can.
I'll have to
Penelope
look for that sometimes.
She's how I imagine.
Send it in the Discord.
I was kind of imagining like almost Lucy Steele-ish.
I was imagining like a Yukiko, but like blonde and like
she had blonde hair in my visualization.
I thought of her to be like more like a Latina.
Ooh.
I don't
Well,
know.
they're in the Canary Islands, so
Because
I
just thought like the
definitely
Canary
Latina.
Islands and stuff like that.
Oh,
She
I got
is
spoiled.
definitely Latina.
Oh no.
Kira!
Oh.
Like, I mean,
I'm not gonna look up any
bad,
fanfiction now.
but wait,
Sean, you just
why do I keep spoiling? Oh my god!
Stop looking.
I was like,
why would
oh
you
no,
tell
and I was
us
like,
to look? Why would you tell us?
because like
to
I
look,
went on the wiki to
Sean?
go find images.
Yeah.
Now I
well,
know. Now I know so many things about her.
Sean, why would you tell us to look if we're
It's
just
like a
gonna
cute
get spoiled?
photo. If it'll hold up, y'all can see her.
Oh, nice.
Like that kind of.
Oh.
Yeah, now I know about things that we were discussing. But let me
Damn
go
it,
be nosy
Kira.
since already.
No,
It's
Kira.
cute.
I'm sorry. Here, I'm putting my phone on the dresser.
Good.
Someone take my phone.
Good. It's going over there.
Okay.
All right. Well, we had an unfortunate spoiler accident, but luckily it was contained. It was contained to one person, so hopefully we don't have any more outbreaks.
Don't act like this is not your fault, Sean. You told
Yeah, you literally told us to go look it up. And where am I gonna find photos on the
You
wiki?
can just go on Google Images on the Google
But all the
Images
images
tab.
are blurry.
Oh, that's not my fault. Deal with a blurry picture.
It's your
If you're
fault.
going on the wiki, you're gonna get spoiled. That's anytime anyone goes on a JoJo wiki.
Bing Bong, it's Sean spoiled George Joestar novel for me. Block and report.
Block and report.
For minors, child endangerment, because I feel endangered now. Not a child, but I still feel endangered.
Kira, how old are you?
Huh?
How old are you?
How old am I?
You're 18, right?
Yeah. I love the lie. I'll be like, depends.
Depends who's asking.
Depends when you're asking. Because you would have asked me about this time last year. Would have been different from current.
Oh, come on. Well, okay, so chapter good.
Yeah, chapter good. All right, I think
Chapter
that's the
good.
end of our episode, guys. Thanks for joining
Yay.
us.
Yes.
Join us for chapter 4 next time. Bye-bye. Bye-bye.